at the Texas Barber Expo. And then July 29th through 30th, I'll be at Rumble in the Rockies in Colorado. So go check out all those shows. Pretty dope.
I don't know where the board is.
Cool. So let's see. I'm going to answer some of these questions that we got. Y'all already got some fire questions coming out the jump. I'm going to answer my homie 4K Fades. I'm not going to AZ Barber Expo. I'm not. I actually haven't. I've heard about it from June for sure, but other than that, I haven't heard too much about it. All right, 4K Fades. What is some advice you can give us experienced barbers that are struggling to get to the next step? This is an amazing question. So you're an experienced barber. You started making money. You have pretty established clientele, and you have some savings too, and you're pretty consistent in, your work. What is the next step? How do I get to the next step? I don't want to be behind a chair forever. Do I want to create my own brand? Do I want to do more in the barbering industry? Do I want to open my own shop? Or do I want to do something totally different? Do I want to keep saving? I don't want to be in the spotlight. I don't want to do social media. Do I want to invest in real estate on the side, start building up equity and assets? Do I want to start investing in stocks? All kinds of different things. So there's different things that can take you to the next step. The thing is evaluating what your next step is. So for me, I went straight into real estate after gaining a little momentum in the barbering industry. I had a good clientele, and I kind of saw shiny lights in wholesaling real estate. And I kind of went towards that direction immediately. But it shifted my focus completely from barbering. And although I was successful in that sense, I lost complete focus of barbering, which is my passion, which is what I want to do. So with that, basically my thing is you got to have a clear plan of what your next step is. Because if you're stuck, you need to narrow it down. What are the next things I can do? Do I want to create a brand? Creating a brand is going to obviously, and even if you already have a brand, what do I want to do with this brand? Do I want to create hair products, barber products, online education? Do I want to create my own barber expo? Do I want to be an educator for a company? So your next step, if you have a clear plan of your next step, it'll be easier for you to make that next step. So it depends on what you want to do. Then from there, basically, just create a plan around your next steps. So for me, this is why I preach to barbers now. I'm like 7-8 years in the game. But at the beginning, I was just trying everything. I was trying everything, doing everything. And that's why I feel like if I would have came into, but I was, not only was I new to barbering, this is the difference too between probably most majority of barbers is me going into barbering. Not only was I new to barbering, I was new to life. I did 6 years in prison. So I went in at 17 years old, came out at 23. So basically I didn't even know life. I had never been an adult. In life. I didn't have any guidance. So when people see me, oh, you're preaching, you're saying this, that, and a bunch of people don't care. There's a whole bunch of people that do care about what I'm saying because they wouldn't otherwise hear these simple things from somebody in their family, or they don't have mentors. They don't have someone to look up to tell these things to. They don't have somebody to tell you to invest. They don't have someone to tell you to keep track of your books and accounting. They don't have somebody to tell you, simple things in life. A lot of us come from trauma, messed up circumstances, all kinds of stuff. So when I came into the game, not only was I new to the game, I was new to life. So I was just trying everything. I saw shiny lights, shiny object syndrome. That's what they call it. Like you see something else, you go into that. So for me, I did try a lot of different stuff. And I feel like even now I'm still trying to make a clear path all the time. You're always creating, you're always trying different things like that. But what I will say is just be clear on what you want your next step to be. And then from there, base it around there. There's so many next steps you can take, But a huge thing I do want to stress is sometimes we make money, we build clientele, all these things. I want to stress to you too, make sure your books are in order. Make sure your books are in order, whether you have a CPA, whether you're doing it yourself through QuickBooks or whatnot. Make sure that's in order, and also work on your credit. So when you do want to take this next step, whether you want to build a business through barbering, whether you want to build a business through investing in other things, whether it be real estate, other businesses, you know, it's just unlimited possibility. Make sure your credit's right, and make sure that your taxes are in order, so that if you do want to create something new, you're starting with a clean slate. You're starting with some background from the barbering, whether it be income, you got credit if you want to leverage that. Like whatever it is, I would say just make sure everything's in order before your next step too. That's a huge deal, because some people will keep taking steps and then they have to backtrack and do all this stuff. And I'm not speaking from experience or anything, but you know how it goes. So I know that was like a super long drawn out answer, but if you want to elaborate more too on your question of what you're struggling with on your next step, then I can go in depth on that as well. Like, what are you struggling with? Is it because you're just sitting at a shop? Is it because, you know, you already built your clientele, you got a little money, you have a little consistency, like you don't know if you want to make your own shop, make your own product, you know, things like that. So that was a good question, dude. Just let me know if I could elaborate on that anymore. Let's see. There were some questions way back here that I didn't answer. Okay. Should barbers compete? Barbers, if you want to compete in barber battles, that is your own business. I like to compete in barber battles, and competition barbers would never ask somebody if they should compete. So I'd never ask nobody, hey, should I compete? Because I don't care about nobody's opinion. That's in life in general. I don't ask nobody's opinion about anything. I'd rather just do it, because 9 times out of 10, people are gonna try to discourage you from trying something new. But maybe something as small as competing, I don't think people discourage you. But people discouraged me when I told them I was competing. I didn't ask them for their opinion or anything like that. But when I say, hey, I'm competing, they're like, oh, you're trash. Why are you competing, you know? So I don't mess with negativity, opinions. Competition barbers are a different breed of barbers. Straight up. It's just a different breed of barbers that like to compete. They just live for it. They have nothing to prove. They don't have nothing to prove. Especially like my homie Jay. Jay Alexander, who was like 70-time award-winning barber. Won first place in every big category barber battle and every big barber battle you could imagine. He owns 2 barbershops. He has a great team. You know, solid dude. But if there's a hole-in-the-wall barber battle right now, he would jump in that. Just because he loves to compete. That's the same thing with everybody that competes. Like, it's for the love of the game. It's not to prove yourself. It's not to anything. So if you want to compete, that's on you. And I encourage all barbers to compete, because one, it gets you out of your comfort zone. It's such a fun experience. Like, everybody who ever competes and then doesn't win, even if it's their first time competing, I've never heard anybody say they didn't love the experience. And if they didn't, they're just mad because they didn't win, which is 9 times out of 10 ridiculous. But yeah. So your thoughts on moving states after getting your barber license. So I think a big hack in life is moving from where you're originally from. For me, I'm from San Antonio, Texas, right? But San Antonio, Texas is so huge that I used to live on one side of town that's 40 minutes away from where I live now. Maybe 30, 40 minutes. So if I was to travel 30, 40 minutes and I was in Philadelphia or Jersey or any East Coast cities, I'd be in another city. But here in Texas, San Antonio is so fucking big that if I drive across town, like, it seems like I'm going to another city. It's still the same city. So where I grew up, I don't fuck around over there at all. I didn't cut hair there. I didn't go to school to get my license there. I don't mess around over there at all. I don't go to the stores over there. I don't go to that side of town at all. And I'm super grateful that I don't, because if I did, I'd be around the same old people I used to hang around in high school that I got in trouble with, that are doing the same things. And me going to another side of town, all my clients, I met all new people. The people I've met are amazing that I do have in my circle now. And that's just from networking and stuff like that as well. But a huge hack is to get out of your side of town or city when you're young, when you have like no kids and stuff like that, because it will really challenge you to create something new. It'll help you see that there's more to the world than just where you grew up. And it's really dope to move around and build a whole life for yourself outside of where you're from with no support. It makes it, I don't know, it just makes it better. And it's a little life hack to make you kind of see more in life and also like push you to be more successful in a new spot. But I don't really know what the rest of what your question really means. That was just my interpretation of it. But your thoughts on moving states after getting your barber license, that's my advice for moving states, period. Not just about barber license. I keep burping. Shout out everybody tuning in though. Y'all better stay tuned in, ask some questions. And also, I'm just going to be dropping some random shit. Y'all need to... What advice do you have if you are at a school where barbers are 10 years ahead of you, which makes clients picky, and you are fresh out of school? Honestly, to me, that question doesn't make sense. But what I'm going to interpret it as is you didn't mean to say if you're at a shop where barbers have 10 years ahead of you and you're fresh out of school and clients are picky, that just comes with the territory. Those types of situations is what push you to be a better barber. When you're surrounded by barbers who are way better than you, that's going to force you to level up. Not only because, you're going to clearly see the difference between their cuts and your cuts and their clientele and your clientele, but also because when somebody sits in their chair, your chair, that has sat in somebody else's chair that's very experienced, that's going to put the pressure on you. But those experiences are what help you grow and help you be better. So what you got to do is just up your game. And it's also an advantage to have a bunch of experienced people around you because you can learn from them and learn things from them. Like, for instance, I was fresh in a barbershop, no license, charging $15 a cut, and this dude sits in my chair and tells me, yeah, I usually get cut by Rob the Original. Dude, I shit my pants. I was like, man, I'm going to have to cut this dude and Rob the Original be cutting this guy's hair. And I don't even have my license. I'm just like I suck. But I didn't. He gave me $100. I remember that clearly. That was like my first time I ever got like $100. I thought it was crazy. Maybe it was 50. But either way, it was like a lot to me at the time. And I remember he tipped me really well and it was really cool. And it was chill. But what I did is I just kept my confidence. I'm like, oh, Rob, cool. I don't even know who that is. But yeah, that's how it goes. So live with that confidence and whatever. What up, my dog Ricky? Just left Bar Louie. Left your Instagram and told him that you are the one that throws the best mixers. Dope. Facts. My dog Ricky. Ricky, that was one of the first barbers I ever used to work with, Ricky Taper. At the same shop that I'm telling you that I cut that dude Rob the Original. Well, Ricky, dude, gets down on designs. Rob the Original, like, mentored him as well. You know, they came up together too. So his designs are crazy. He was the first one that really showed me about like customer service. He was the most popular barber in the shop, not only on like with clients, but with social media. So a lot of people will say, you know, it's only the barber's job to get clients in a shop and stuff. And I made a reel about, or I had mentioned that, you know, shop owners need to advertise for barbers. If they want to charge a premium price of booth rent to barbers, then they should advertise for barbers, for their barbers that work in there. A lot of shop owners are saying, I'm giving you a location. I don't have to advertise at all for you ever. You're your own boss when you're an independent contractor in my shop. that is completely fine. If you could find the barbers to work there, that's on you. Who cares? If you could get barbers to pay you $250 a week and not promote for them at all and not have any walk-ins for them at all, more power to you. But let me tell you something. Any business, I don't care who it is. It's like any business. Okay, so guess who else is independent contractors? Also, people who are independent contractors are, there's so many independent contractors, but businesses are not advertising because of that. It's just the most odd thing. So basically, any business, I don't care if you fucking shine shoes, like any business in the whole world should advertise. So people are saying, barbers are getting too lazy and greedy and stuff. And it's like, we're telling barbers, as much as we're telling barbershop owners that they should advertise, which I believe any business in the whole world should advertise. If you have a business, you should advertise it. It doesn't matter what the structure of the pay behind the scenes are. Who cares if that person's commission, hourly, or booth rent? You should promote your shop the same way. Like, what? That's literally crazy. So all this to say is that really good barbers, I went into all that because I saw Ricky's comment. And I was talking about Ricky. But, so Ricky Taper, 210, real G. He used to bring so many people into Bexar County Cuts. People would go to that barbershop because of Ricky Taper. We heard Ricky Taper works here. We see Ricky Taper, Ricky Taper, Ricky Taper. Everybody walk in that door, Ricky Taper, and go to that shop because of him. That barbershop owner did advertise like crazy. So we could never knock him for not advertising anyway. So that's a whole nother side thing. But if Ricky's bringing in a shitload of walk-ins and feeding that whole shop, and that shop owner's not even advertising, fuck out of here. That's fucking lame. Yes, that barber is bringing business to your shop because Ricky was so busy that when we be walk-ins and they ask for Ricky, he's booked. So guess who gets it? All the other barbers that are waiting for walk-ins. So yes, one barber can feed a whole shop and it will discourage them just like it discouraged my dog Ricky if they're doing everything for a shop and that shop owner's just shitting on them or not, advertising right, stuff like that. So that's the great debate is that, should barbershop owners have to advertise for booth renters? Fuck yes. They should. Any business owner, period, should advertise. And that's not saying that barbers shouldn't advertise as well and just sit and wait for walk-ins. As much as I stress barbershop owners should advertise, I stress that barbers should advertise. So the whole confusion and all that you see on social media with these little cut-off reels, these all come from my live that I'm doing with y'all right now. So people get little snippets, but the real ones know that, a lot of stuff gets taken out of context because it's cut up from this live, but real ones know. Can I drive from Cali to get a cut? I'm trying to get blessed. Yeah, I do drive out here from Cali, fly out here from Cali, whatever. You could always book a haircut through the link in my bio, and I am accepting new clients, so it's your lucky day. What advice do you have for beginner barbers to continue building skills? One would be watch multiple people's, always education classes. If you could go to physical education classes, that's better. But also even on YouTube, Instagram, watching other people's techniques when doing something will always help you build your skills. Or sometimes they'll help you find shortcuts or things you never knew. Definitely for me, sometimes I see little things and I'm like, might try that. But building skills is always going to be continued education. Continued education is what's going to help you build skills. Also, the way one person says something may not resonate with you, but the way another person says it may resonate with you. So there's a million influencers, there's a million educators, there's a million teachers. And just because you see one and you say, that wasn't really for me, I don't really like to watch that. I don't really like to watch education, or I don't really like to do this or that. Just know that there may be somebody for you. Just keep looking for someone that matches your style and teaches you new things. My dog Tank. My dog Ricky. Y'all go subscribe to my dog Tank Be Chopping on YouTube. That fool's gonna give you all the thoughts. I mean all the techniques for getting better when cutting hair. Thoughts on Hawaii barbers. I don't have any thoughts on Hawaii barbers, bro. Dang, if you're ever in AZ, pull up. I'll pay you to let me cut your hair. Dang, plot twist. Dang. That's funny. All right, so let's see. This weekend, Fort Worth Barber Supply, my dog Tank Be Chopping. Gonna be out there checking out his social media class. Can't wait to see what he... Because at my show, he got to do a class at my show, but it was a haircutting class at the 5-Star Barber Expo. So this weekend, he's doing a social media class. So should be super dope. Can't wait to see what he's talking about. See if I can learn. Maybe we get some content. Maybe not. Let's see. And then July 9th, I'll be here at the Alamo City Barber Expo. And then July 16th, Texas Barber Expo, and then July 29th and 30th is going to be Rumble in the Rockies in Colorado. Let's go. I'm going to be a special guest judge at Rumble in the Rockies. That's fucking dope. I'm excited to go. It's actually my first time at Rumble in the Rockies. Also, been getting a little tan, you know what I'm saying? No big deal. I came in, Q's like, damn, you got the most tannest legs I've ever seen. I was like, I know, weirdo. Be commenting on my legs. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh shit. Do I still have my engagement? I accidentally turned off my live. So I wanted to answer some questions in my comments, but I forgot to get those questions ready. So I'm going to freestyle right now. But, huge video gone viral about me saying, or a video went off about me saying about how Great Clips does what does Great Clips have that makes them so successful? And it's the speed of service and availability. So obviously they take walk-ins all day. You don't have to set an appointment. They have a system down where you can even sign in early as a walk-in. So you can like go to their app, sign in as a walk-in. So you don't have to have appointment. It's like a same day appointment, but it's always available. You could just sign in as a walk-in. Well, what I was saying with that is that it's their speed of service and availability that basically they're so big because people care about convenience and availability. And they're open when they say they're going to be open. If Great Clips is open from 10 to 8, they're open from 10 to 8, unlike barbershops. You might go at 8. They didn't have a barber to stay till 8. They had to close at 7, mix. Anyways, I keep going into something that doesn't matter. The point is, Great Clips has a speed of service that is very, that everybody needs. So, everybody in the comments was saying, I'm not going to cut 15 minutes. Those are trash haircuts, whatever. Just because I'm telling you to have a speed of service does not mean I'm telling you to do a haircut in 20 minutes. I'm telling you to have a time for your haircuts, a designated time. Because a lot of these barbers are just cutting without knowing how long they're taking on cuts. They're just blocking off an hour for everybody. And some might be 45 minutes. Some might be 35 minutes. Some might be 50. Some might be the whole hour. And then that's those barbers that you see when their client's gone and they're sitting in the chair doing this. And then a walk-in comes and then the owner says, can you get this walk in? And he said, oh, I got someone coming in 10 minutes. It's like, okay, first of all, for me, I'm going to do that cut in 10 minutes, that walk in. You got me fucked up. 2, I'm not going to have that space gap. There's no gap because I have a speed of service. I have a certain time that it's going to take me to do every haircut. Yes, some haircuts, because I do 30 minutes for each space, whether it's haircut and beard. Sometimes, yes, I do a haircut in 15, 20 minutes, you know, and so then I do have that little 10, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. But if you're doing that on an hourly basis and you're having 10 or 15 minute leeway in between each client, that's 1, not efficient. 2, making your appointment schedule by the hour, bruh. You could get you can't even get 10 appointments a day. Maybe 10 appointments a day if you work a full day for 10 hours. You're telling me you can only cut 10 heads because your appointment schedule says an hour for each head? Mind blown, right? Especially starting out. That's a huge hack. And it's annoying because so many barbers are going to say, you're not supposed to rush haircuts. You're not supposed to rush art. You know, it's not about rushing the clients. The clients want to feel this and that and all that. It's like, my clients feel all that in 30 minutes. They don't need an hour to feel that. And also, my clients could not even be in my chair for an hour. I've had so many clients come in, new clients, and every client comes in. Hey, this barber took forever. I was sitting in their chair forever. You know, and it's like, clients want to be out as much as you want them out. So don't give me that about you're rushing because of a 30-minute haircut. Also, and think about it. If I'm doing 30-minute haircuts and the person next to me is doing hour haircuts, and we're charging the same price, I'm making 2 times as much cash as them. That's crazy. I can't do that. You know, and, you know, to each their own, but also this is a huge tip that I got to put y'all on. Huge tip that I've never seen shared. I don't know if it's been shared, but this is a huge tip and it makes a huge difference. If you put your schedule for all your services, first of all, I think you should have the least amount of services possible on your scheduling app. There's barbers that have haircut and beard, haircut, eyebrows, color enhancement, styling, you know, ear hairs. Like, they literally charge for every little thing, and they have so many different services, and it gets all overwhelming for a client to book. Like, well, I do want a haircut. I don't want my eyebrows too. They don't. Y'all need to read or look at, and go on YouTube, look up something called Give 'em the Pickle. Give 'em the pickle. It's customer service, y'all. But basically saying, throw in the eyebrows, throw in the color enhancement. Just make it worth it in your overall price. Don't fucking be nickel and diming people. Just make whatever's worth it to you to do a full haircut, eyebrows, color enhancement, whatever. That's all included in the service. You can't charge separately for all those little things. The next thing is, this is huge. Your schedule, the times on each of your services have to be the same time. Let me say that again. On your scheduling app, the services for each service need to be the same amount of time. Why? Tell me why. Do y'all know why? Because otherwise, if you have different times for different services, you're going to have gaps in your schedule. 100%. If I have a 35-minute service, a 40-minute service, and a 50-minute service, and somebody books a 35-minute, then somebody books a 40, and then somebody books another 35, and then somebody books a 50, you're going to be inconsistent on your schedule, and there's going to be small gaps. Those small gaps add up. If I have a 5-minute, 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 or 10-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute, that's another haircut that I'm wasting because my scheduling app is booking, you know, weird because I have weird times on my schedules. So make sure all your services are the same time. And if they're not, 20 or 30 minute increments only. When you bust out that 40-minute, it throws everything off. Because it just throws everything off. So that's a huge tip that I feel like, you know, not a lot of people talk about, but you definitely need to have your services put to a certain time. That's going to like make all the difference so that you are utilizing all your time. Because I'm telling you, still 7-8 years in this game, I don't like taking breaks. I do not take breaks when I'm at a barbershop. Everybody always tells me to, like, it's unhealthy and all this stuff. I'm like, if I'm at a barbershop or if I'm at this place of hair cutting, which is my shop, I'm going to be cutting hair. I don't want to do shit else. I don't want to go get no fucking food. I don't want to eat food here. I don't want to take a second break. I want to cut hair like a hair cutting marathon all day, make as much money as I can, and I'll rest when I die, and I'll rest whenever I freaking stop cutting. But I just don't like to waste a lot of time, and I know that barbers are the best time wasters. So 3 tips for you increasing your revenue as a barber are going to be: 1, getting your haircut times down. 30 minutes is a reasonable time to do a full haircut, even a full haircut and beard, even with enhancements, even with eyebrows. That is a reasonable time. It is not rushing in any way. Second tip to increase your revenue is make sure that on your booking app that your services are the same time frame. So if a haircut service is 30 minutes, everything should be 30 minutes on your schedule. It should be very consistent, because if you have inconsistent times for each service, then you're going to have gaps in your schedule and you're going to be wasting time. Third way to increase your revenue as a barber is to sell products. Barbers sleep on this so hard. You know who don't sleep on this? Cosmetologists. Every cosmetologist, a woman goes get her hair done, she's getting upsold on every hair product that is in that fucking salon. I mean, conditioners, shampoos, treatments, curlers, whatever the hell. She getting upsold. Barbers do not upsell enough to their clients. They need to be selling their clients whatever gel you put in that client's hair, whatever hair product you put in that client's hair. I don't care if beard maintenance, beard oil, beard balms, beard straighteners, combs, the right type of comb. How'd you get my hair just like this? Oh, well, you know what? I actually use this specific comb. It's actually, and exclusivity. You got to let them know that what I used on your hair is the only thing that made your hair look like this. It wasn't me. It was this hair product that made your hair like this. So, boom. Then they have to buy it, because it was me and this hair product. Our combination of us is what made your hair this perfect. So upsell that hair product, because that can be over 50% of your revenue. You can make 50% of your daily revenue through selling hair products. And that is hugely slept on in the barbering industry, and it's super frustrating, because y'all need to get y'all's money on them products. Especially we have places like Armstrong McCall, way available for us, like nothing. Also, luckily, this didn't happen in the beginning of my career. In the beginning of my career, everybody undercutted. There was no set thing for hair products. It's always been a thing for like clippers and whatnot. But even Pacino said that one of his distributors were selling on Amazon for him. It was one of his biggest distributors, and they were killing it on Amazon. And he wasn't even on Amazon. He was just distributing to this guy, and he was selling it. A lot of big companies own their Amazon. There's not a lot of companies that let you third-party distribute on Amazon. And if you third-party distribute any of these big companies' products, they have to be at a set price. So back in the day, that wasn't that regulated like that. So for instance, our bestseller is Johnny B hair gel, right? Johnny B hair gel used to be undercutted by everybody. Oh, I got Johnny B for $10. Sometimes you could go on Amazon, see a freaking 30-liter gallon for $5 on Amazon. And it's like, how can we sell products to our clients when they can go on Amazon and buy a fucking barrel of Johnny B for $2? Like, it was hard for us to keep that pricing control, because people were undercutting it, because this person didn't care if they made 50 cents per jar versus, the regular retail. So now that's more regulated, like completely. Like, you're not going to see people retailing hair products on big websites that consumers can find, whether it be H-E-B, Walmart, or Amazon. You won't see it like undercutted cheaper anymore because that's been like super regulated. But so that's what I'm saying. There's no excuse not to sell products. Because I used to get discouraged because I was selling Johnny B like crazy, crazy, crazy. Then they can go to Amazon and buy a barrel of Johnny B for 20 cents. Like, bro, how can I sell this little thing for $20 when it's on Amazon for, you know, way cheaper? I couldn't. So I got discouraged. I stopped selling Johnny B for a little while. All that stuff's been super regulated. And so highly recommend you get them product sales because that'll increase your revenue heavily as a barber. And it doesn't matter. Like us as influencers, right? You know, oh, we don't want they don't want to post this. We're not getting paid to promote this, paid to promote this. First of all, I never think of myself like that. I'll shout out whoever, whenever, whatever. I don't really do all that. It's just whoever I show love to genuinely if I really like them. Well, that's the thing too with selling products. As long as it works and you're making money off of it, fuck all that. Fuck everything else. Everything. So way you choose products. 1, brand awareness. 2, biggest ROI, return on investment. What's the biggest ROI? Would you recommend baby kiss trimmers or walk trimmers? I'd probably recommend babyless or wall trimmers, but I don't know about baby kiss and walk trimmers. Just kidding. No, I have both. I have a pair of both. And they both have different what is it called? Like purposes. So I like my babyless, they get rid of my bulk, but I like to you know, do my edge ups and detailing with the wall detailer. So one of each, but I would suggest if you could only buy one and you could get one wall detailers because they can get rid of the bulk too. But the trimmers don't always, the babyless trimmers don't always hit on the edge ups. But for me, the wall detailers have always hit. All right, I got like 5 minutes up in here. Let me see. My thing's not moving. I feel like all the answers I gave today were super long. And I'm not going to get any reels out of these bitches. All right. All right, y'all. Y'all got any questions? I'm about to hop off of here. I got to head out. But I want to answer any questions if y'all have any. This is a little sidebar. I'm just gonna give you this sidebar. It's none of my business. I don't have a barbershop with a whole bunch of barbers in there. I'm not out here recruiting barbers or anything like that. This is in general in any business, right? So if a barbershop owner reaches out to your barbers to try to hire them to your shop, you cannot be mad at that barbershop owner at all because barbershop owners are looking for experienced barbers. They're not going to go to the barber school. So if they see say for instance, this barbershop owner follows this certain barber that works at your shop and, you know, sees they cut good, seems like they've been there for a while or whatever. Hey, if he reaches out to them, they want experience. They want to experience barbers. So don't take that stuff personal. Just make sure that you have a good company culture that's keeping your people locked in. And this isn't any business, you know? So if someone else reaches out to one of your employees to, you know, quote unquote, steal them, there can't be no animosity or hate because people are looking for experienced employees and they're looking for, you know, experienced people. And where do you find those? Those types of people are already working at established places and businesses. So that's a little random sidebar, but I feel like it's a good reel and it's just something I thought of because I see a lot of, don't stop trying to take my barbers. And it's like, bro, you can't take that personal. Make sure your company culture is on point. You don't have to worry about no one jacking your shit.
I got one. A good starter clipper or trimmer for someone who's cutting their own hair.
A good starter clipper or trimmer for somebody cutting their own hair is always going to be the clipper combo collection that I have at 5starbarberco.com. And I upgrade it regularly. If there's something I feel that's like better value, whatever. But those three, like you buy those, never in your entire life will you have to buy another clipper. Ever. So that's my thing, is because when people say, because another thing too is people always buy cheap clippers to cut their hair because they're, I'm not bored, I don't care. Well, your hair is going to come out 10 times more jank because already you don't know how to cut hair with clippers. Much less now you have like the worst clippers ever, because me as a super professional, I'm a super professional. I don't know if you know, but super, not just regular. No, I'm just playing. But I'm just saying, like, even me with some super cheap clippers, like, it's going to be hard for me to, I'm going to do it. And I might do a video on that. I might cut hair with some cheap ass clippers, but it's still going to be harder for me to cut. So I can imagine like somebody that doesn't know how to cut and they have cheap clippers, like, it would just be bad. So I always just recommend people just spend that. Also, it's a huge it's an investment, because if you cut your own hair forever, you don't ever have to pay for a barber. You might as well invest that like at the beginning of, you know. But it's my opinion. What came first, the chicken or the egg? All right. See y'all later. I hope this was all right live. I don't know if it was, but I'll see y'all later. Hey, if you need any barber supplies, you can go shop on my website at 5starbarberco.com. And also join me on live. Usually I do Tuesday or Wednesday, midday around this time. I like to do Q&As. I like to chop it up with y'all, and I want to build a community. So let's go. I appreciate y'all tuning in every week, and I'll see y'all later. Boop. Boop.